Welcome back to V-Roll. We are doing that giveaway, the Pokemon 151 poster collection, going out to one lucky winner. Can't wait to give that away. What we are seeking is a total of 4,000 subscribers, and we're climbing there. We're over 2,800. So 4,000 subscribers is where we're going. And all you got to do is like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's really that easy and that simple. One little tiny extra step. I know I ask so much of you people. One little step. All you got to do is make sure you're entered to win that. And how do I do that? I want to compile everyone's entries into one place. So after this video, make sure you go over to this video here. That's the one you need to leave an additional comment. That's where I'm going to be pulling the winner from when I do that random comment picker to pull the winner for that poster collection. So really excited about that. But today is Friday. It is our Fight for First Friday, where we look at sets going from the oldest, working our way all the way up to modern here. And we are on the E-Card series collection. So we are looking at Aquapolis. Let's dive in. What we do is we take the set that we're looking at here. Now, last time we looked at Expedition Base, and then we have the Best of game. I just want a quick touch on that because it's 9 cards. I didn't think it was really worth looking at the top 10 when there's only 9 cards. This was actually an interesting setup here where they did reprint with this reverse holo pattern on a lot of them. Some are non-holo altogether, and they have a little stamp on them. Let me just pull one up for reference here. There's a little stamp on there that just says best, and it's in the star there. I thought I could get to a better scene here. No mind. All right, just a little star looking thing here, and it says best. That's all it is. So a little different. These are interesting and a fun, tiny little set. Not easy to get, really expensive actually. I have 4 of the 9 in my collection because I found these, I was introduced to these a little while back now, and I thought it'd be fun to pick up, so I did pick up a few of them when they were reasonable prices there, and there's quite a few out there that you can get. They're just really pricey, especially when you get into things like the Dark Venusaur or the Mewtwo. Like, they get pretty expensive. But that's not what we're focused on today. We're going to be looking at the fuller series here, the fuller card list here, the Aquapolis, and I've pulled that aside here. We have 147 cards and then 3 secret rares. All right, but also there's another subset within it here that we need to address, and we'll do that in just a little bit. So all I do is I go to TCG Player, I look up the best selling of that particular set, and then I pull out the top 10, and we just take a look. Sometimes we're looking at artwork, sometimes we're looking at prices, but it's just a curiosity thing. It's a discovery thing. It's really introducing this set that I didn't have a chance to be a part of or collect to maybe you who haven't heard of it before. So it's just a fun little walk through Pokemon TCG history. And we're going to start with the Rainbow Energy. This E-Card series here has these barcodes that you can scan in. Not exactly how they were utilized all the way, but I think it had a crossover with the games to be able to implement those into your games. I don't remember. If you know, use that in your comment below. Educate me a little bit and give me some insight. I just even have taken the time of what it's all about. Don't really need to look at the pricing on these here. I think there's some more interesting conversations to be had on some of these cards that I've pulled up, but the Rainbow Energy does come in at the top 10 there, number 10. Tyranitar in best selling is going to be number 9. Love the frame on these, that it's a little bit more narrow, almost that widescreen format. Very early on we didn't have that. That wasn't normal at the time back when this released. What was it, 2003? Yeah, that wasn't really normal to have a whole lot of widescreen stuff going on there, and we are getting a little taste of that, a little bit more narrow format and frame. The holos don't do a very good job of depicting the scenery, but this set had a lot of that going on. And in the set here, we can look at the Tyranitar specifically. You see a lot more of this rock formation here, and maybe there's some sort of hint of man there with the building there, the electric, or the lightning flying down there from the storm. It's clearly raining and everything. You don't really have that in the holo. It's a lot more intense. Maybe it looks that way in person. I don't know. I haven't held this one, but it's very interesting here. I love how the E has the holo pattern added to it. It's kind of nice in some of these promos. We get the border with the holo. I wish we had that more often in some of the regular cards, that we had the holo border incorporated rather than just the frame of the Pokemon. Like on these here, the promos, you have the holo border as well. See, that kind of thing would look great in a set. If you're going to get a holo every time, change it up with that kind of thing, Pokemon. Add the holo border to this whatever set, So if we see that coming up, that'd be fantastic, and just something interesting, a little different to make it more unique to that set. So here we have the non-holo version. I just pulled this one up. It wasn't in the numbers of the top 10, but it was just to showcase the difference in the scenery that you can actually see there. We have Suicune here, another fan favorite, very popular. One thing that stands out on some of these is you might see this H and a number. Down below, this is H25 out of 32, okay? Right here, 25 out of 32. This was kind of a subset, and it indicates hollow. It's a specific hollow variation, all right? Because here we have the Tyranitar that is part of this regular set, 40 out of 147, and then you have the hollow version of it being 28 out of 32. So this was a specific hollow variation tacked on to the end of the set. So I don't know if that really fits into the full 147 or if it's an addition. I think it's an addition, that it's 147, there's 3 secret rares, and then you have the 32 hollow variations. So if there's an H, it's a hollow. That means there's a counterpart non-hollow in the set. So it makes for an interesting little extra addition into this particular set. Man, that would be wonderful to have, especially for that swirl. Sorry, just noticed that. Got a little distracted with my unofficial ADD there. But an interesting variation with that H subset. It's kind of like a trainer gallery subset or a Galarian gallery that we're more familiar with these days. Zapdos, look at that, beautiful posture, making them kind of smaller. Usually we see Zapdos a little bit more overpowering, a little bit better posture, but this is kind of in flight, observing a moment here, the crazy plasma energy going on here, or lightning storm, I don't know for sure, but very interesting artwork on that Zapdos. Moving on to Nidoking. Nidoking kind of gets passed up over and over in the 151 set, Scarlet and Violet 151. I think it was really cool when it came out, and then people just kind of brush it off like, it's nice, illustration or whatever, move on. But I think Nidoking is really underappreciated because it's a massive, huge dinosaur. Why is this one not as cool as Tyranitar? I don't understand. Tyranitar is cool. Why is Nidoking not as cool to a lot of people? I don't get that. I always thought Nidoking was pretty neat, and I love the way this hollow is lit up here. The light from underneath shooting up gives a very dramatic lighting effect here, very dramatic shadowing. It's almost what we would consider for like a horror lighting, but it's way more intense, so it gives it a really powerful, that there's this energy building kind of light scene, so it's really cool there. Scizor, another fan favorite. I love the framing again, good crop here, got this really high energy running at us with those weird upside down cross eyes. It almost looks a little off there, but that's okay. And this is the hollow version, the H21 out of 32. Nice little variation there, and you get a better hint of the details here. So in the non-hollow version, I would assume there's a little bit better scenery, which is something that I noticed on the Aquapolis set, is there was a little bit more focus, a little bit more intensity in adding more to the scenery. Really dramatic, dark version here of Tentacruel, a little bit more realistic in my opinion, that you'd have it observed under the water, the lights falling off from above there, it's getting really dark, deep dark depths of the ocean or wherever, so you kind of have this really dark feel here, and Tentacruel was always a little bit more of like a scary Pokemon in the anime, that you weren't expecting, and then it would be kind of freak out moment when it pops out of the water or whatever. So Arcanine here, another hollow variation. Kind of a really joyful Arcanine, very cartoony, very simple, heavy line drawing around it, and just kind of prancing along here. I know it's in like a full run, but since it's so paused here, there's not a lot of motion to the scene. It just looks like this joyful little trot, maybe that little smile coming in here, just kind of like, I'm a happy Arcanine, it's kind of cool. It just gives it a little bit of a more playful version of Arcanine that we're not quite used to. Kingdra, this CGI look here in those early 2000s wasn't amazing, but I think it kind of adds a level of the times for the design. Now we have like the claymation looking ones, which are cool, and some CGI ones that definitely have way better renderings beyond this, but I think that kind of adds something to it, that this hollow here was considered a secret rare, being in the past the 147 there at 148. So this is the first secret rare of the set. I don't know if they have to go in that order of 1, 2, 3 or anything, but it was one of 3 secret rares, and this last one in the top 10 is a fan favorite. Could you be surprised here? Lugia. Beautiful Lugia here, that glowing, it's not ominous, but it's kind of mysterious, I guess, that glow. And we remember the first introduction in the anime, where it's streaking through the sky and had that big glow happening to it. This is going to be 149 out of 147, so it's another secret rare here. We have the hollow going all the way around the border here into those bleed through areas for the barcode and the E symbol there for the E card reader. Another great one here. I wanted to point out the scenery, because we did talk about that, but on this one, the Houndoom and the non-hollow version, which is part of the main set, because this is one of the H32 series group here, the scenery just really plays a better role in some of these cards, and that was slowly being introduced. You'd have it on a card here and there leading up to this time, but at this point I think it was finally I don't know, celebrated, accepted in the community. I don't know exactly what changed in the Pokemon TCG, in the collecting world, in the company stance of how they're going to do these artworks, but the scenery really plays a much bigger role in this particular set, and then moving forward we see it a lot more. So bringing us to today with the illustration rares and special illustration rares, where a lot of them hit very hard because the entire landscape is telling a story, and then the Pokemon is featured within that story. So I think the scenery coming into play gives it a little bit more. There's a nice symmetry here. We have this mirroring of the branches reaching out there, this wonderful wide-angle view of the sunset happening behind. Very interesting, beautiful there. And you thought Charizard from Brilliant Stars was the first one to show us his rear and fly away. No, I think Eevee did it first. This might not be the first one, but it's definitely one of the earlier ones of Eevee looking back, taking a look. And Eevee has such an interesting look because such an iconic Pokemon, yet you can find variations that are wildly different where they could almost be different Pokemon. So I always love that about Eevee, and same with Pikachu has had that over the years. But a lot of scenery here running through the street. This is kind of that same posture of the Pikachu running through the street in Pokemon 151, where just really excited Pokemon, happy at play, out in the world, doing its thing. Love the little paws here going on, and who doesn't love an Eevee? Super cute. So that's it for the Aquapolis set. I do kind of not have a great format of how I'm going to go through on these sets because I'm not familiar with them. There's so many from this time, from, you know, Legendary Collection, really moving all the way up into probably the X and Y era, in a lot of X and Y, and then I have a little bit better introduction back to Sun and Moon and beyond. So there's a lot here that I'm kind of looking at more intensely, a little bit more in depth for the first time, really. But there are certain ones that stand out that we've just seen over the years that have been standout cards, really popular fan favorites, big ticket prices, things like that. So it's an interesting journey that I'm on, just kind of for the fun of it. And I hope you enjoy the series too, because it's just a little interesting way to look back, a little nostalgia, and see what it is. And maybe that kind of influences the thought process of what we might see to come. What will Pokemon be doing next? Maybe that hollow border that we're seeing in some of these promos now that we saw back in the day in 2003 on some of the actual cards there, maybe we're going to see that moving forward in the sets, and maybe you could see these in your hands when you like, comment, and subscribe for your chance to win the Pokemon 151 poster collection. Once we hit that 4,000 subscriber mark, I'm giving that away. Go back to the beginning of the video. You'll know exactly what to do and how to enter. Check the description below. I have it there too. I want to make sure you have a chance to at your hand in winning that Pokemon 151 poster collection. Don't forget, when you like, comment, and subscribe, hit the bell. I post 7 days a week. And with that, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.